Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
It's us, Nicole.
And Tessa.
And Kim is here.
As the Blair Witch.
Because you'll never see her.
Nope.
She's mystical.
You're supposed to see her, but you don't.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Maybe you did.
Maybe you
didn't.
did.
I don't know. You will hear her.
Yeah.
But is she there?
Or is it people playing tricks?
She's a bag of teeth.
So 25 years.
25 years
Since the
and
Blair
kind
Witch
of 30
Project.
years also, because that's when
The footage was taken.
The footage was taken in October of 1994. So, vis-a-vis.
That's, yep.
Ergo.
30 years. So we both, not together, but
No.
we both saw this in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have to have seen it opening weekend because the theater was so packed we had to sit in the front row.
We were not in the front row, but we were like up in the back, and it was all
we
spooky.
were very much
and
in
then
the front.
afterwards, we had to. I don't remember why. If we went somewhere through there and then had to come back through Retchie Canyon, and it was all like misty, spooky, and that road's like anyway.
I think we saw it at the block at Orange, and I don't remember it being misty and spooky, but I just know that my dumbass friends were all like, as we left the theater, they were like, I can't believe their parents let them put out that footage of them basically getting murdered. And I'm like, is there something wrong with you? It's a film.
Remember all the promo stuff on like Discovery Channel?
Yeah, there was promo
there was
stuff.
all the,
And we were talking about it was one of the earliest ones to have like a website
Right.
tie-in where you could go see like the missing posters. for
Sure,
them
like all
and-
the footage, or not the footage, but like all the news stories and the clippings and the legends and the lore
that they were gonna include in the movie, but then they were like, well, this seems too. Is that what you
Right.
said? That's what they did with all that extra stuff.
Well, it was like they filmed a bunch of like news stories in the aftermath and all this other shit, but it felt too scripted because that's not what they were trying to do. Obviously,
Right.
it was like found footage, so they got rid of most of it from the movie, but I guess they used it for the
for
website
that stuff and whatever media.
like all the media.
And I
whatever.
swear, even though they weren't supposed to do interviews, I swear I knew for whatever reason there was never a moment
Right.
where I thought it was a real thing. Like I knew before going in that those people were still like I had seen something where
Right.
they were still alive
I mean,
or whatever.
it would stand to reason once you see it. Like, really, that's like a snuff film.
Well, that's
that
why
we're
it didn't
watching right
even
now?
occur to me to be that, because I knew
Right,
it was
right.
fake the whole time. So I was like, oh yeah, that was a good movie as we're leaving. And they were like,
Oh my
visibly
God,
shaken.
I mean, I
can't
was
believe
freaked
what we
the
just
fuck out.
witnessed, and I'm like, it's all fake. Like, yeah, it was a good movie. It was scary,
I
but
was freaked the fuck out because it was such a moment. Such a moment.
and it was done really well.
It was. And like you like start talking about it, like, oh, did you see? And people were getting sick.
I'm
Oh my
surprised
God.
we didn't get sick in the
I'm
front
surprised
row.
I didn't get sick at all. 'Cause
I think we were
usually-
so close that we couldn't even register
Maybe.
the
Maybe.
shakiness and the whatever of the movie because we were just, and we probably didn't get the surround
I was
sound right
too
because we were like
scared to
way
be
up at the
sick.
front.
I was too
scared
scared
to be
to be
sick.
sick.
Yeah, I don't remember
People
ever feeling
did
sick
throw up
during it.
though, and like, yes, you did have to tell people like, okay, so you do know, are you like, do you get motion sickness? Because people have been getting sick, huh?
Was this when you were working?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Oh, this is when you worked there. This was when the movie came out.
Right,
Wow.
and it was like asking people like, do you get sick watching movies? Because
You're gonna.
yeah, and it was creepy to go in there and clean up the theater afterwards because it's all dark and the music is all spooky, or it's like it's all not music, but it's like all spooky sounds and
Yeah,
shit.
all the in the surround
Yeah.
sound. I was
Uh-huh.
glad to not have surround sound in my house watching it today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, but not kind of, because I kind of would have liked to experience it like how you were meant to in the theater, where the
Right.
stuff's coming from different directions.
because it's not inherently rewatchable.
I have not watched it again since I saw it in the theater.
I think I maybe saw it maybe one more time outside of
it was
seeing
because it
that
was
first
just a
time in the theater.
moment
Yeah,
and an
'cause it
event,
was-
and once you knew the thing and how it ended, it was
yeah.
you didn't watch it again. Yeah, like Sixth
Right,
Sense. I don't
right.
think I've ever watched again. Because once I knew the twist,
again,
it was like, and this one
watched it
isn't that
maybe
it's a
once or
twist.
twice. No, it's just like, oh, like whatever. And some people were pissed. Some
That you
people
don't-
got mad that there was
Oh, the way the
or
ending
just
was?
that the way the ending is, and like
It's abrupt.
it is, or just the whole thing. Like, oh,
It's
that
a
was
short
fucking
movie.
Stupid. Yeah, I guess it did. It eclipsed that big budget classic, The Haunting,
Oh.
starring Taken and Lightning McQueen.
Oh, Taken and Lightning. They don't have names. That's how we
No,
refer to
that's
them.
how they are. That's what they do.
So, I guess let's get into this. The
Right,
cast
it's the
is super
shortest
short.
cast list ever.
It's
It's their
just
names
their
and what their
names.
names are, except for Heather Donahue, who did change her name in 2020 to Ray Hance, R-E-I, Hance, R-E-I.
Camping?
Yeah, I guess so,
Because
right?
camping? Oh my
What a
God. Because isn't that a
legacy.
camping store?
And I
What the
guess
fuck?
she ended up leaving acting and whatever and got into the weed industry in 2008.
Okay.
That's what she
okay,
does now.
okay.
And of
Look us
course,
up, Heather.
right? Heather,
Oh, I'm
or
sorry, Ray.
Ray Hance, let us know. Joshua Leonard and Michael C. Williams as Mike and Josh.
Yeah, that's, I mean, and then
That's
otherwise
it.
it's just the people in the town.
The one lady, that one
Mary
lady,
Brown.
uh-huh,
I
she
wrote her
was-
down. Patricia DeCoo.
Deku.
DeCoo.
Deku. She, I guess they had put out a flyer or whatever at some local college, I feel like, hey, does anybody want to be like an extra in this low budget horror movie that we're doing or whatever? And she was the only one that showed up.
Really? And she's all weird. They're like,
Right?
perfect.
Perfect, ma'am, Ms. Deku.
You're going to be the weirdo who lives on the hill.
Ms. Deku.
Got the job. So we open with just and right away with the shaky,
Oh, I know.
the
it's
shaky
like
cam
already.
credits. Even I'm like, you couldn't even hold the credits
Nope.
still, you guys. Just the opening
Everybody's too
credits.
scared. Everybody's too scared.
Even the text
Even
is
the
too
text
scared
is
to hold
scared.
still.
Yes. In October 1994, 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland, while shooting a documentary. A year later,
The footage was found.
ooh, ba, ba, ba. There's like no music or anything really, so we're just
No,
gonna
I
add
know.
it. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we'll give
add
it. We'll give it a soundtrack
Yes.
for you if we think of stuff as we go. And it's done. I mean, if you've never seen this, I had forgotten because it'd been so long. I mean,
Right.
it just gets right into it's. There's no preface to
Nope.
why she's interested in this.
Nope.
What's the compulsion to make you want to go out in the woods with just yourself as a guide
Nope.
at like 21 years old?
Well, that's
when
your
cell phones
answer
weren't
right
a
there,
thing.
because
Just the
the sheer hubris.
yes
of
of youth, exactly. The sheer hubris. That's exactly what she had.
So yeah, they get into it. Like, she's leaving for the weekend. She's checking the cameras, whatever.
They're
Josh
packing up.
comes and picks her up, and they pick up a guy they've never met.
Yes.
And why is it? Because he's a sound guy?
What's a DAT? What's a DAT? What's a DAT?
Is that a sound?
Is that a sound thing or a
situation?
video thing? Because
'Cause
he's
it
like,
looked
he
like
kept
he was-
having to get the DAT back was his thing.
Right, and I feel like he was at one moment like sitting there with like the headphones on and like a thing.
I
like
think
he
he
had
must
to
have
sit
been
out
the
in
sound guy.
Audio tape.
Digital
Okay.
audio tape. So yeah,
Alright.
so he was manning the sound.
He's the sound. So they put out what, an ad or something, or somebody from that department.
I would
at their
assume,
school?
yeah, he's another student filmmaker from either the same or
Right,
another
right,
school.
right.
Like, and they were hooked up with somehow.
So they don't even know this guy.
and I have
he-
that headband she's wearing in the beginning. Did you have one of those where it's like the spiral? It looks like the spiral out of your notebook.
Oh,
and
the,
it
the-
made the little
yeah, the
creases
little
in your hair,
comb
the little
thing,
comb.
the really sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I had one of them.
I stuck it in my eye like every time.
Boing.
You get it like stuck up in your eyelid and you're trying to pull it, like drag those sharp.
The things we do
I know.
for beauty.
Get all that hair.
For a zigzag.
So that no
part.
baby hairs come out.
No. Can't have that. You do it wet.
But yeah, and they're
Wet.
so these we don't know what relationship the other
No.
two have other than they already know each other, Josh and her. They're apparently in the same
Right.
class at
They-
film school or
yeah,
whatever.
they're like maybe partners in this project.
But this is very time capsule of the 90s, just their their little the pre-video before they
Right.
get to the woods
Yes.
of them just
getting to know each other and hanging
buying
out
snacks
whatever.
and it's, getting drunk and hanging out in the hotel room, and just the outfits they're wearing and
Oh, I
whatever
know.
is just kind of a time capsule of
Very
exactly what was
much.
happening at that
Very
time
much
period.
so.
And they go to their first slate. They're gonna do which they even had. What was that for? It's just the three, y'all. What do you use?
I know.
It's
I
not
don't
like
know.
a whole crew
you
of
have
people.
to, or else you're not making a film.
Maybe that's for the sound. Maybe that's to cue
Oh,
the
like
sound
a-
with the. It's like why we clap.
Ah,
I bet that's what a slate does.
that sounds correct.
yeah.
That sounds correct.
It just gives them a way to sync up the shot with the
you need it for the dat.
audio. For the DAT.
For the dot.
I need it for DAT.
my.
So they
Oh
take
my.
up, they get some opening shots at the cemetery in Burkittsville, formerly known as Blair, Maryland,
Right. She reads this whole little monologue thing.
about an
right?
unusually high number of children passed in the 40s, even though nothing unusual was said to be happening at that time. And that sets you up for them interviewing the townsfolk about
Right.
what happened in the 40s to
Yeah.
the kids and what's the deal. And now I was paying attention. I was watching it. I was awake. I was
Right.
sober. But did they not tell like 4 different stories here
I
about?
believe
Okay,
so.
just making sure because I'm like,
believe
it was
so.
a man and then it was a woman and
So I read somewhere that woman, I believe the woman with the baby, I'm not entirely sure, like made that shit up on the spot.
She
and
was
then, like,
good.
disappeared. They like couldn't find her
because that baby
afterwards to,
was
like-
good.
The baby, was
trying
good.
to
It
cover
was
her
like-
mouth and crying
I
every time she tried to talk about the
know.
Blair Witch. That was fucking freaky right off the bat.
Right?
I was like, how'd they get that kid to be like?
I
"Shut
know.
up."
I'm not entirely sure if it was her, but it just said the woman that they talked to on the street
Okay.
made that shit up on the. They told her what they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
but that whole story that she tells, she made that shit up, and then they
Nice.
tried to get her to sign the release, like to be in the thing, and they couldn't find her. But I guess they did.
They must have because she's in there.
because yeah. So I don't know, or they're. She really did just disappear into thin air.
She's
and, like,
the
never
Blair
re-
Witch. We did see her.
Probably.
That's a little
Probably.
baby witch was like, "Shut up, mom!
Oh, the baby was
Don't
the
tell
Blair
people
Witch.
about."
Shah! Not
my
about
gig.
me.
So yeah, so they are asking everybody about the legend.
Yeah.
And one guy, Blair Witch will get you.
Right.
Her name is Susie.
Whose
Baby's
name?
name is Ingrid Gooch.
That baby's
Ingrid
name is Ingrid Gooch,
Gooch.
you guys. That baby is now an adult person named Ingrid Gooch. So if you meet Ingrid,
2021, someone
you tell her we
figured out-
said she did a great baby acting
Right?
job.
You did great, Ms. Gooch.
Ms. Gooch. I'm sorry about your name. Ingrid's
mean,
fine. Gooch is a little. I mean, maybe she's married by now and changed it.
I don't know. I'd probably keep Gooch.
Gooch.
Call me Gooch.
We would
Name
call
a
you Gooch. If your last name was Gooch, we would call you Gooch.
Oh, I know. I would insist.
You're like, I introduced myself as Gooch.
My
Thank you
name's
very much.
Gooch. Pals
So-
call me Gooch.
But then they're telling the story. So after the mom one, then they were talking about a man who would kill children and that 7
Right.
missing children.
There was some hermit that lived up in the mountains in a shack, and these 7 kids went missing.
And he was the one who brought him in pairs or whatever and made
Right.
one turn. And so I'm
Right.
like, how is that the Blair? Maybe
like,
the
did the
Blair,
Blair
Witch
Witch
is
make him do
androgynous.
The Blair Witch made him do it
I guess.
because I
'Cause
feel
he's
like
not the Blair Witch.
no, but I feel like it's like the whole spirit of the Blair Witch
I
makes you like
guess.
murderous.
If you live out in the woods, you get
well,
Blair
yeah,
Witch crazy.
obviously. You go witch crazy.
So yeah, he made one face the corner while he killed the other one because he didn't like their eyes watching him.
And he took 7. How did he do 7
Pairs?
in pairs?
What? He-
And why? If he didn't like him watching him, why just take
Oh
him
wait,
one at
or
a
does
time?
that make more sense? Wait, I'm trying to think because if he did them in pairs, he would have had to have an uneven number. Nope, because there's still no matter what the
No, if
last
it's
one
in
there's nobody
pairs,
to there's nobody to watch,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why, if it bothered him so much, why not just take one down at a time?
right? Why are you bringing one to watch, and then not letting
And
them
not
watch, you
watch.
weirdo? Not
Well, this
letting
whole
them.
Why
Why don't
aren't
you let
you
them
letting
watch
them
the
watch?
child murder?
Come on.
God, you're extra mean. I'm
Jeez.
gonna let him have a little entertainment. Before
And
they
where
die?
did all those other handprints come from if there was only 7?
That was a lot of child handprints in that.
Oh.
Maybe that was some other
That's
child
what
murderer
I'm saying.
house.
Maybe that happens in like every so many years.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Comes and goes.
They explain a little bit more about not really that, but kind of that in the subsequent sequels.
Okay. So then they get told about Mary Brown.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that she's a weirdo.
And she lives up on the hill, and go talk to her. So they go in.
She's seen it.
Yes. And she saw a woman with dark hair all over her arms and
and a
like all over her
shawl.
body.
And she opened up the shawl. And she was all hairy. It's like, she's like, you could tell she was a woman, though. She had big hairy titties under
Big
there.
titties.
And was she just like, she wore her hair everywhere
like
she
Cousin
goes?
It.
Oh, with a shawl? Why
And
bother with
titties.
this shawl? She
I
looked like
know.
a Bigfoot,
Right? Why have a shawl if you're hairy from fucking head to toe?
right? I just go out like that.
So that's all they. You get a bunch of these little.
A bunch of
Moments
little
of
stories, like all
townspeople.
kinds of. Everyone's got kind of a different story, but the fact is, the woods up there are haunted.
It creepy.
Shit's like creepy and spooky, and like things have happened around here.
So in the morning, end of day one, they go to the motel room. They're gonna take shots. Who's got the weed? Nobody's got any weed.
Incredible.
I'd be bringing
Could
weed.
they not find any? Is that the problem? They
Well, in the
can't find
'90s, you had to get a plug. Maybe they didn't know anybody in Maryland.
Didn't they go to school there?
Right? You're in film
You're
school.
in college. You're in film,
Film
school,
school.
and nobody brought any weed.
Come on now.
I do beg your pardon.
The realism.
I do beg your pardon.
not-
That's because
Nobody liked them.
that's what I was gonna say. Because Heather's a fucking bummer.
She was the one who asked, though. She was the one.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
that's why
that's
she was
right.
a bitch.
She was
'cause
a
like,
fucking
I don't got
narc,
no weed.
right? Well, if that's gonna be, then you bring
You
your
bring the
fucking
weed if you need it
bitch.
like that. Bring
Come
your
on.
own.
They get out there like, does anybody have a lighter?
Oh, could you imagine? So
Yes.
first thing in the morning, bam, she is with that camera right in their faces as they like
Right.
wake up. And they go out and they find some fishermen and ask them about the myth.
Yeah, they go down to the creek and there's like a salty one and a nerdy one. And then like the nerdy one kind of like says things about Robin, whoever. In the
Robin
18
Weaver, who disappeared in the woods,
and
got
then, like,
lost.
he seems like he's into it. And then the salty one's like, fuck, she got lost. Like fucking whatever. And then they like switch.
And then the old man's like, "Oh, an old woman whose feet never touch the ground." Like, and they're like,
Is-
"Wait, what?"
That's must have been
I
what
saw a
she-
vapor come out of the water out
Well,
of
that
nowhere.
just sounds like condensation, sir.
Yeah, so they switch places mid conversation.
was
But
like,
you
now
said a
this-
lot of this that was that all improv too from the townsfolk?
I don't know if all of it was, but some of the people were not actors and some of the people were actors. But
Okay.
the people like the Josh and Mike and Heather, none of them knew who were actors and who were not actors.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't have any clues.
So they tell them about Coffin Rock, or they go out to Coffin
Right.
Rock.
This is part of the legend is this what happened to the 5 hikers or whatever hunters at Coffin Rock.
And so she goes and reads from this book about 5 men who were tortured there and
Got their guts.
intestines torn out, writing carved into their faces.
They go out just
Traipsing
willy-nilly
around.
into the fucking wilderness. It would never ever be me. This is why
This
Blair
will
Witch
not
ain't
happen
gonna
to
get
you.
me. Hell fucking no.
And she says that when they came back, the person who found him went to get the sheriff, and a few hours later, the
Oh.
bodies were gone.
It still smelt like it,
And there were
was like
vultures.
vultures, but no bodies.
And now it's time to put up the tents.
Oh, it's time to camp, you guys! Right
Starting to
over here
rain.
by Murder Rock.
Yes.
Oh yeah, now it's fucking raining.
And didn't you say they just dropped them off? Like they knew what they were supposed to do,
They
but
knew what they were supposed to do. They were told about this legend. They thought the legend was real. They did not know that
they made up the whole thing.
that they made up the whole thing. So they were armed with that information and what their motivation was, and they were dropped off in the woods. And actually, they were given less and less food every day to like start getting them all mad. Mm-hmm, so they
it
would
worked.
escalate like the whatevers. And I guess Heather and Josh argued more so, but most of that was cut.
because they didn't want
It didn't seem like the guys were ganging up on fucking Heather's
Oh.
stupid fucking ass.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I would have
because she
ganged
was
up on her.
a freaking idiot.
I mean, I wouldn't have been out there in the first goddamn place,
True.
but if I were, I would have ganged up on her too.
and they just all sleep in one tent together.
She only brought one tent? First of all,
Girl, what you looking for out here in the woods? You sure you just looking for the Blair Witch?
she brought a knife, I guess, in real life because she didn't like the idea of being out there sleeping with two guys.
Well, in the movie, she sure didn't have a problem with it. Not that
Well,
anything happens, but
I mean, not that you would like if. Well, I don't know if you're doing a movie. She's like, "Is this?" I guess she asked him, "Are you intending on making a snuff film?" Put me
right?
out
That's the
here in
concern.
fucking-
Well, because it sounds like it was mostly all real, except for the fact that there's not a Blair Witch and that no one was
Yeah.
trying to murder them.
Well, because they had to sign waivers, like I was telling you. I didn't mention it here, right?
No, I don't think so.
did. They had to sign like waivers, like we're gonna fuck with you. We're gonna drop you off in the woods
And play mind games.
and play mind games with you and fuck with you, and you never know, and we're gonna do it.
That's scary.
Yeah,
Yeah, being the only chick for that, I'd be freaked out.
Yeah, that's scary.
probably. But I guess that's why she was asking, and that's why she was armed. It's like making the entire woods like a fucking haunted house.
Right?
Nah.
So in the morning, Josh is like, I heard a bunch of noises last night, and one could have been an owl, but the other was definitely cackling. And they're like,
Right? They're like, if
we
I
didn't
would have
hear
heard
anything."
cackling, like I didn't hear it, but if I had,
Yeah, I would have shit myself. Oh my God.
I'd be like, we're going home. I'm leaving.
So they're just kind of like this first day or second day or whatever. They're still chill. They're just kind of messing around, looking at Mike's sporadic chest hair patterns. And
Right? They're like just having a good old
recording
time.
Heather peeing in the bushes. Is it
Yeah, is
Heather
that the
pissing
Blair
or the
Witch?
Blair Witch?
Nope. It's Heather taking a piss.
And they don't trust her with the map because she keeps going off trail. She keeps saying,
Right.
like, I know where we're going. And then she just
She
doesn't
keeps
follow the map.
Insisting that she.
Yes.
I know where we are. It's like right
We're
over
not
here.
lost.
We're not lost, and whatever.
And so Mike, they like fight over the map. Josh has the map. Then Mike wants the map. He can't read the map. Like they
Right.
don't. They end up
Nobody
just giving
knows
it back
how
to her.
Yeah, no one's. She's like, oh, well, you can't read it. I can't either. Now they have to like cross a log.
Yeah, on a log,
Over
not
a
even a log
stream?
bridge, just a fallen
just
log
a
over a
fallen
river. And they
log.
have these like 50-pound
Right.
packs on their backs. And she's like, "Oh, we're really close now," but like everyone's not talking to her. Already.
Right? Like, are you excited?
No.
Yeah, crickets, bitch.
And so they find this stone pile in a tree and like another on the ground nearby, and they're like, there's all these. It's the
Right.
cemetery.
Oh, that's weird. There's 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So now they're here. They're fucking. And she's like, what did that crazy lady say? I thought she was insane, so I wasn't fucking listening. See, bitch?
Yep.
See,
She was
bitch?
trying to tell
I
him.
would have been intent on whatever that crazy spooky lady said.
You know she knows.
I know. I want to know. Well, they did say that she said she was an actress and a scientist and an inventor.
Yes.
And a
Ballerina.
A ballerina. Like she was
Uh-huh.
a lot of things, but still. I bet she
Still.
has some wild ass fucking. So I just let her talk. Let her cook. Let her cook.
Like these weenies they're gonna roast over
Oh.
the fire.
The most expensive shot in the whole movie right now.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Because they had to pay for him to sing the Gilligan's Island theme,
And they just had to have that in.
I guess.
But then again, that's one of the most memorable lines to me is him saying, "Not the captain, you illiterate TV
you-
people. It's the skipper." Yeah, so I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so they go back to the rock formation cemetery at night filming.
Right, which
and
is
kick
always
over
smart.
a pile of
Oh,
child
tell
grave
me
rocks.
You didn't fucking just knock that over.
Never fuck with rocks, stacked rocks.
Never fuck with. Why
Heather
would
tries
you
to
go
like
back
kiss
out
it
there?
better. She like puts the rock back and like gives it a smooch.
That's why the fucking Blair Witch came for their
The
ass.
Blair Witch was like, "You should have left that shit knocked over."
Right?
Bitch. Don't
I
you
told
don't
you.
Put your lips on my rocks.
Get your lips off my rocks, off these child graves.
But nothing happens right then.
No.
And they whatever. It's now nighttime. It's black screen, and then you hear the audio with no picture yet. Hello.
What the? Who's gonna say? Yeah. Hello.
Do you want to reply?
Right?
Heather?
No, bitch.
Why are you
Why are you
helloing
fuck-
into the dark?
And then go out into it. This is you.
She goes out. Not in the middle, not when we're sleeping. If I got woken up by a noise, I don't think I would do that.
For sleep, we would never be sleeping
I didn't
in
go
a tent
hunting for a
outdoors.
noise. I was just looking at the pretty lights. They had all those colorful lights out in the forest pointing
That's
at
how
the
they get
trees.
you.
I heard something. And
Right?
It disappeared.
I didn't hear
That's
something.
how
I
they
saw
get you.
something.
She would be
totally
spirited away
different.
to the fairy world. She was following a will-o'-the-wisp.
Yep. I would. But yeah, she's out there on her hands and knees fucking shouting into the woods. Hello?
Right? Hello?
Hello? And you
Who's
can hear
out
all
there?
these sounds around them. And
No.
Mike's like, no, I don't hear anything anymore. I'm not coming.
The sound guy doesn't hear
Yeah,
shit.
he's like, I don't need to.
No, because no. I'm
Mike was
already
trying to be
not going to
smart.
feel like safe in the tent. You can't even slam the flap.
Oh, Mitch.
I know.
So in the morning, it's pouring.
Yes.
And Heather's asking Josh what he thinks the noises were. And he's like, I think someone's fucking with us. And she's like, nobody knows we're here.
Ever see Deliverance? Which that's also not a kind thought. It's at the very least an animal that I don't want to run into in the night.
And they're saying it sounded like people running around. And he's like, he still thinks people were messing with them.
Yeah.
And he's like, what if it's not people? Well, I ain't messing with that either. If it's not
Bitch!
people, especially, I don't want to know.
Right?
So they're walking, and Mike's like, I don't remember seeing any of this when we walked out here. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm taking a shortcut back or whatever. Like, it's the most direct route.
Right. Like that was the most direct route to where we were going. And now this is the most direct route back to the car.
And they're like,
Are you
for
sure?
real?
Are you sure?
So now they got to camp again. And she doesn't know how much further it is. And they're like, what the fuck?
It's
They were
starting
supposed
to get
to be
dark.
back.
We have to. Meh.
And they're like, just turn the camera off and read the fucking map.
Right.
Because she's this whole time just filming
Right.
them
She's
being
like, I wanna
pissed about
get,
being
like,
lost.
All of the things.
Well, it's like film the parts that are Blair Witchy. Like when you find weird shit, yeah, turn the camera on,
Right,
but
but not the
save your
whole thing.
energy. Stop and
Well,
your
then there
battery.
wouldn't be I know. I was wondering about that. I was
They
wondering
said something
about that.
really quickly in the beginning when I think when they were getting the stuff out of the car and putting the heavy packs on, they were like, we have enough batteries to power. They made some claim about how
Okay,
good
like
the batteries
many
were so that it
batteries.
would make
Okay.
sense. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because that's maybe what's so heavy. is
Yeah,
all
as
these
they're carrying a
batteries.
bunch of battery packs.
I see.
And
I
so
Batteries are so fucking heavy.
I bet, yeah, especially in the 90s.
Hmm.
So they got to get the equipment back tomorrow. The boys are freaking out. And then it's pitch black again.
Right.
And we're, again, filming for sound. We're just recording sound outside.
Yes.
In the pitch black.
Hello?
And they turn the light on. No, you don't see anything, but then you hear more sounds.
Yeah.
And they just stand out there shivering and recording the sounds.
Right. They're like, it's got to be a deer. It's got.
But it's like-
what the fuck is that? Right.
like all
Indeed,
weird-ass
bitch.
noises.
It sounds like footsteps, bitch.
Get back in the tent,
What
zip it up,
time
and
is it?
pretend you never
Fucking-
heard it.
3 a.m. The witching hour.
No. So in the morning, there are rock piles
Oh no!
outside their tent, one for each of them.
3 piles.
Gonna kiss those, Heather?
They're like, whatever. I don't even.
The boy's like, I don't care. Let's go to
I
the
don't
car.
give a
Let's
shit.
go to the
Let's
car.
go. Let's just go.
Outta here.
Let's leave right. I'm so fucking done.
And she's
Pack
just
it
fucking
up.
still filming slowly all these rocks. But she's saying, yeah, we're leaving. But she's not doing shit
Right.
but filming these rocks, and the
Pack
tent's not
it
packed up, nothing.
bitch.
And then, in fact, I'm trying to think, should we break right now? We're kind of like in the middle. We're at 28 minutes.
Let's see.
You gonna go a little bit further?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Okay.
Because then we're about to get into cranky times.
Cranky time. So yeah, before they get really cranky, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.
Have you ever wondered what the scent of a moment or a character in a film is?
What if you could bottle the way your favorite album makes you feel?
Did we pique your curiosity?
Visit Hex Mundi, a niche perfume house that specializes in creating signature scents with references that conjure up the very essence of nostalgia with pop culture-inspired fragrances for your body and surroundings.
We love what they do, and you will too. Go see what we mean at hexmundi.etsy.com.
That's HEXMUNDI.etsy.com and use code DOOM10 for 10% off.
Get there now.
Later, Doomers. If you're a fan of Practical Magic or the Sookie Stackhouse books and love shows like Absolutely Fabulous and The Golden Girls, you're in for a treat with this new paranormal comedy, House of Furies by Donnie Clark.
The Fury family, Witch Alex, his sister Agatha, and their long-suffering mother Rose inherit a rambling mansion in Natchitoches, Louisiana from their reclusive Uncle Edwin, along with a heap of trouble.
There's secret passageways, magical objects, even a cemetery instead of a backyard, and it comes with a friendly caretaker named Earl who's not what he seems.
Cocktails, outrageous outfits, and black magic are the order of the day. Join them as they explore the southern fried town, dip a toe in the local dating pool, and meet their neighbor Helen, who harbors a very old and very dark secret.
House of Furies by Donnie Clark, available to purchase on Amazon, $4.99 for Kindle and $21.99 for paperback. We're back,
We're back.
and the map is gone.
Everyone's wet and cranky, and they had to cross the streams.
Oh no, never
Again.
cross the streams.
Right, like she fell in the water, and she's all mad, and they're starting to get all upset.
Because she can't find the map. She thinks she's accusing them of taking it or
Right,
not
who
giving it
took-
back to her, and they're like, "You
They're
don't
like-
let that map out of your sight."
Right, you always have the map. We looked at the map. I gave the map back to you. And she's like, yeah, but it's not in my pocket.
I always put it in the same spot, and it's not
Right,
there,
and
so you
it's
didn't
not
give it
there.
back to me.
So you must have taken it. Like, why would they have taken the map?
If they were going to follow it, fine. But if they're also
Right.
panicking that we're lost now, then they clearly don't have the map.
Right, and they're not saying like, oh, we need to go this way, we need to go that way. Nobody else had the map but her.
So they decide they're going to follow the creek.
Mm-hmm.
But Josh just lies down, and he's just like, just send someone back for me when you
Right.
get out. I'm not doing this anymore.
Right, and now Mike's over there. Is this where he's laughing?
Well, first it's that she gets her shoes get soaked, and then they both
right.
start laughing. And
Right.
that's when she thinks they're lying about the map because you guys
she's
are having
like,
too
you
much fun.
sure that
they're
you
like-
don't just have. They're like, no,
Like, we're just basically getting sick of your shit, which the
Yeah.
audience is also doing at this
right.
point.
We are all getting sick of your shit, Heather.
And then Mike finally admits, I kicked that fucking map
Yeah,
into the
the
creek.
map was
this-
fucking useless.
yesterday.
I kicked it into the creek yesterday.
And that's when he's like laughing and
Right,
yelling, and she
like-
loses her shit screaming at him, and that Josh
I know,
pushes
like
him.
all of this is gonna be your fault. Like we're gonna die out here, and this is gonna be your fault.
And she's filming them fighting while she's just screaming at the top of her lungs, just. And
I
now she
know.
wants the compass back. He can't have the compass now because
Right
he
now
kicked
they have
the map
to
in
take
the
the
creek.
compass away.
Punished.
Punished. All are punished. Give me the compass.
So they're walking again, and the boys stop, and Heather's like, "Why are you stopping?" And they're not speaking to her at this point. They're
Right,
just like not answering her.
I thought we were gonna head south.
But they have found all kinds of strange shit
Right.
hanging
that
up in these woods.
cuts off from there, and later on, we don't know how much.
Yeah,
later,
so
they run
there's a lot of
into-
that where she must be turning the camera off for
Right.
large periods because they say they walk 15 hours, but we just get little when something happens.
Right, when they come up on something. So now they've come up on all these little stick figure.
People, I guess.
Right, and some of them are like mossy, like hairy. And some of them aren't, and they're hanging up in the trees.
Yup.
And they're like everywhere.
And the boys want to get the fuck out of there. It's creepy, but she's again with these long shots.
I know,
of, just
of, like,
circling
everything.
every one of these things.
Like, nah, fuck this shit. Like, no redneck is this creative.
They're like, no,
we gotta
stop
go. Like,
taping,
you need
let's
to stop.
go.
Let's fucking go.
and that's where Mike's just screaming for help.
Right,
And Josh is like
help!
crying.
help us. She's like, okay, we're lost.
Finally admits they're lost.
Okay, I would have punched her right in her fucking mouth.
Oh, now
Oh, now
we've done been lost, bitch.
we done had been lost.
So that night they set up camp again
Right. And they're like, let's not have a fire.
because apparently it was when they had a fire that the sounds came.
Right. The first night we didn't have a fire, nothing happened. The next 2 nights we had a fire and some shit went down. So let's not do that. Let's not draw attention to ourselves out here.
And guess what? All that did was make you cold because here come
Right.
the night laughter
Right.
and the children footsteps.
Not the night laughter. Night laughter.
And little footsteps.
Tiny boots.
Tiny the Pazuzus.
Pazuzus.
Little Pazuzus out there in the
Looking out
forest
there in the
dancing.
forest. Tat, tat, tat. Brat, brat. Snap, snap, snap.
Dragging shit out of your tent. Making little stick people. Oh my God.
Biggie bags of tea.
And so they freak out and they just get out of the tent and run off into the night.
Like, they're banging
Bang on
there's
the
like
tent?
something's banging on the tent, which they actually did to these people. So their actual reaction was to jump out of this tent and run out into the night.
And this shot of Heather screaming, "What the fuck?"
What the
and they're
fuck is
just
that?
running in the dark.
That
That's
was
a good
where
scene.
we were supposed to see the witch.
Is they were supposed to pan over
They
and there
were
was the
supposed
witch.
to pan over, and there was somebody dressed in, and they got somebody out there also dressed in white, running around out there in the woods. They were out there
Woo.
stepping on shit and throwing things and whatever, like fucking with these people. But they did not. They had forgotten to pan the camera
Towards
to
the witch.
see the witch, and because they made it for $1.50.
Kind of feels like it's a Jaws situation.
I know. I kind of like that you don't see it.
Yeah.
I kind of like that you never see what the witch is. that
I
you
would
just
have liked
see
to just see not the whole thing, but I told you in my mind you see the,
the
feet, the hovering feet.
Like maybe something out there like running around in the woods like that,
Or
would have
just
been cool.
a
Like, if
shadow
something
in the
else-
woods.
not just station, because it would have been really quick had they have done it, because they're out there running around
Yeah.
willy-nilly in the fucking woods,
So they stop and they turn the lights off. and
right?
there's
Like
just
we did-
blackness.
sure, and they're out there shivering, just
You just hear
standing
them,
out there, like
whispering
huddled
and
up in the
breathing.
fucking- in the night.
There's no fucking baby out there.
Oh, I know. She's like, "Did you hear that baby scream?"
There's
He's
no
like, "There's a
fucking
fucking baby out." Shh.
It's just Pazuzu.
The baby
Pop,
covers your
pop.
mouth.
Screaming baby Pazuzu's out there, tapping around in the night.
Coming for you.
Ooh. bring
So they
my
stay there
Pazuzu.
until the sun comes up.
Right, it's like
Just huddled in
till
the moss or
sun
whatever.
comes up.
And they come back and somebody has
Oh.
strewn all of Josh's shit around.
Right, like their camp's
Just
all
Josh's.
fucked up, but just Josh's shit.
And there's slime on his stuff.
It's KY jelly.
Did he? You been out here in
Did
the
he do
woods?
it? Yeah, he did.
He sure did.
Looks like it. But yeah, could you imagine little night laughing babies coming up with their little bottle
And like
of lube,
drooling
like,
all over, fucking snotting all
I
over your
know, what
fucking
is
shit.
that?
What is it?
Ectoplasm?
I guess.
Witch juice?
Witch snot. Yeah.
Oh, witch boogers.
And so why Josh?
Why? Yeah, they're like,
we
why
don't know.
you? Whatever. He's like, I don't know. Like, he starts freaking out about,
Mike tries to wrestle the camera from her and she bites him.
oh, I know. He comes at her, which long overdue
Yeah.
at this point.
Yes.
I mean,
would
I
have
guess
smacked
it
that
wouldn't
camera
be
out of her hands before.
nice and proper for someone like twice her size to come rushing at her. But like I said,
So Josh gets the camera and now he understands why she likes it so much.
right, because it's not like it's reality.
And this is I told you that one time I did LSD. I got a hold of the
Did
camcorder and I would not let it go for like an hour because through the lens of the camcorder, everything was fine.
Everything's fine.
But if I put down the camcorder, everything was insane. It was like there's patterns on everything. Everything's colorful, but it was the black and white. Like
Right,
it didn't
right.
film black and white, but that's what
But
you
that's
saw
what it
through
looked
the
like on
little
the
thing.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I totally
There was
get.
a cat outside that just made a sound that freaked me out.
Oh no!
Oh.
I've got the window open and
Oh,
there's
no.
outside animals. There's
Outside.
Blair witches out there.
I'm saying it got like Blair Witchy weather today. When I was watching it, there was thunder and it was
Perfect
all
timing.
murky. I know, it was right on time. It was like, it was a little Blair Witchy out there.
So Josh goes to have a moment. He's like crying in the corner or whatever.
Right.
Not corner.
And she's
there's
gonna
no-
go.
And she wants to go film it.
interview him?
And Mike's like, no,
Stop,
just give
what are
him
you doing?
5
Like, you're
fucking
gonna go-
minutes.
record him crying.
He's losing his damn mind right now. Just let him do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, can I get a cigarette? No, because they didn't bring fucking 4 days or 5 days
They
worth of
bring
cigarettes.
a carton of cigarettes. Smoke up, Johnny.
Carton of
Cigarettes.
So
I mean, that's what I would have needed. I would have been stressed out there.
you right. And Mike gets real reasonable. He's like, look, whatever
Right.
came is coming back. We got to get prepared for that. And he's like, I think these woods go on forever. And Heather's like, that's not possible. We destroy all of our natural resources in
yeah,
America.
like-
There's no way this forest is that big. So they go back there, and they are now back to the same tree
Right.
they
they're like,
fucking
it's the
crossed
same
over.
fucking log. And she's like, no, it's not.
It's not the same
no,
one.
it's not. It's the same log. It's the same log.
And they have been following the compass going south all day, so they have no
Right,
idea
like
how they
how-
ended up back at this log. So the forest is messing with their
does.
compass or
It's shapeshifter.
scrambling them woods around.
Oh, no, not scrambled woods.
Oh, you know what happens when you scramble them woods?
Blair
Get lost
Witch.
in Blair Witch. So she finally puts the camera down, and Josh starts filming her.
Oh, and she don't like that shit.
And she's upset. What do you want me to do, Josh? I want to make a movie, Heather.
Right.
Let's just make some movies.
Yeah.
She's
Isn't
like,
it
"Fuck
fun?
you." Mike's trying to keep the peace. So he's
Right,
all
he's
over the
like-
place
I
because
know,
he's a
he's-
stranger. So like
Right.
he goes from being hostile and crazy to being like the moderator or the
Right.
mediator between the two of them, where he's trying to keep things calm.
I mean, everybody's just kind of panicking because what the fuck? They've been out there, what, 4 days now?
Something like that, yeah. And Josh is up in her face. Here's your motivation. You're lost and angry in the woods, and a witch is leaving shit outside your tent, and there's no one to help you.
Oh, no, stop
And
it!
she starts crying, please stop. And like, that's what you get, bitch.
Stop yelling at me like, oh, with your little weaponized tears. Fuck you.
Right? And Mike's still over here trying to make a plan. Like,
Right. He's like, come on. Like, we got shit to do. We got to get
we're going to
shit
have to camp in the
together.
same fucking spot where this shit happened,
We were
basically.
just here. We're going to have to stay the night almost in the same fucking spot that we stayed the night where all this shit, how we had to go running out into the fucking night. So we got to take watch. I'll take first watch.
Right.
Someone's
Someone's
stay
supposed
awake
to be
all
staying
night.
up. And that apparently didn't happen because...
No. They,
Well,
like-
no, because Josh was last watch.
Yes.
So he disappears. He's on
That's
last
right.
watch and he disappears.
They stay up all late talking about food, which is
cheeseburger. I want a
ill-advised if you're like
cheeseburger.
starving. He's talking about
Mom's
mashed potatoes.
potatoes.
Oh man.
Because yeah, who knows? They only brought and they bought kind of a lot of food for just a couple days. So I think it's in the
probably
car.
just like maybe, but they
I
also
think they
just,
didn't
like,
take it
ate
all.
it.
That too, because they didn't think they were going to
Right.
be.
They were like, well, we're just
in there
gonna-
that long.
Yeah, we're gonna be here 2 nights.
When where were they going to cook this instant rice that they bought? Did you see how much instant rice they? Or
I
they bought
don't
like
know.
boxes
Like,
of
they made
rice.
fires and stuff. So like, I would assume.
I didn't see no. They must be pots and
they
stuff.
were
I heard one
jingling and
jangling.
jangling
Yeah, but you
before
didn't
they
see them
left, so-
cooking or
no,
anything.
you didn't. But there was always a Blair Witch to contend. Well, they probably didn't record that part.
Well, they probably didn't. Well, I guess they really had to cook and stuff if they
Right,
were
they were
stuck
just
out
like,
there
if
with
we're-
less and less food, unless they threw
Yeah.
some Nature Valley bars at them and were just like,
Oh, that's how they could have found their way home if they just would have
Leave a
eaten
trail.
the crumbs. Oh, but no, it wouldn't. Just like Hansel.
that's the sound they heard. It was Pazuzu's boots
Oh,
crunching
on
on
the
all them
crunch-
Nature Valley crumbs they left.
right. Scattering them around so that you can't find it.
Kicking them.
All over the goddamn forest floor.
So yeah, in the morning, Josh is gone, and she's just
Right,
screaming
well,
for
she, like,
Josh.
First, she's like, "Look, Mike's still here. Everything's
Mm-hmm.
cool." And then when she opens the flap, it's like, oh no,
Where's-
there's a bundle of sticks. Is this where the bundle of sticks is?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's gone.
And then she's screaming. He's not answering.
Right.
And Mike's like, "Do you remember?" Or one of them's like, "Do you remember what he said yesterday about all that shit on his bag?
Yeah.
Like how it was all slimy or whatever." So they go to look for him. She's losing her mind. Mike's all calm because all Josh's stuff is still here.
Right.
Like
all his
maybe
stuff
he
is
just went
there.
he went to go pee or he went to take a shit or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Let's hang out here for a while and see if he comes back.
So yeah, they do head east though, so it's a little confusing because they're like, let's stay here, but then
Well,
they
she's
do end
like-
up kind of moving.
Yeah, like we're gonna have to move regardless. Like we can't stay here again tonight. We're gonna have to move at some point. Like we'll wait a while, but we're gonna have to move.
And Josh does not return.
No, he does not.
So that night, More sounds in the night.
Oh no.
Ooh, it's like a man. It sounds like Josh.
Oh, I know. They wake up again and they hear like hollering
Shouting and
out
crying.
in the woods, like help me.
And they can't tell what direction it's coming
Right.
from.
It's just all over.
Or if it's really him or people fucking with them.
Yeah, I think it's a trick.
And
Is
they
it a
do
trick?
so well with
Oh,
the
I know.
freaking out right here.
Oh, I know. This was his yelling and hollering were speakers hidden throughout.
All around the forest.
Yeah, so you didn't know where it was coming from.
Interesting.
But yeah, they start. It stops. It starts again. They're trying to find.
She's like, it's not Josh, because if it was Josh, he would have said where he was.
Right.
And he's like, it sounded like Josh.
And yeah, like they look and it sounds like it's closer and further away and it's all over the place. So now they're like, we got to go find him.
Well, so in the morning, they end up going to sleep. So they scream for a while, whatever.
Right.
They move along, and then they end up camping again. So in the
Right.
morning, they're both still there. And this is where there's this pile of twigs
That's
outside
right.
the tent that's like tied up with one of Josh's torn
Right.
shirt pieces.
And she's like,
She just tosses it away, like,
Right, she
get that
throws
out
it
of my
away.
sight.
Right.
And
I
Mike's
guess they
already-
had to tell her, like, you need to go back
Oh,
and
you
pick
have to
that
go
up.
back-
Like, you
pick it
have to open it up because her reaction was to be like,
I don't want that.
I don't want that. But they're like, no, you really have to because we worked really hard on this. We called a dentist.
We called the dentist.
Josh got a haircut. We called a dentist.
You gotta go
You
back.
got to go back and open up the thing.
So meanwhile, Mike's rocking back and forth. He found some cigarettes. He's
At
over
the very
there.
bottom of the pack, like, we're still alive if we're smoking.
And so they have a moment, they smoke, and that's when she goes back after a cigarette to the twig pile.
Right. She's like, she doesn't tell
Mike
that
anything.
that's what she's going to do.
Which
She
again,
goes,
another let the man be informed of what he's getting into here, please.
I know. Poor Mike. Justice for Mike.
Because Mike didn't even know y'all.
I know. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Exactly. So yeah, she opens it and screams. It's a
Right.
bloody chunk of hair and a tooth.
Wrapped up in Josh's shirt.
It's
Like,
and
it's
she
gross.
just
It's like all
goes and
she-
washes her hands in the
she's
creek.
Like, nope. And then
That never
Mike's like,
happened.
Are you okay? She's like, yep, everything's fine. We got to move. Let's go.
And she goes back and puts her gloves on.
She's like, I touched it. I know.
It's
she's
like too
probably
late
having
now.
I know.
So she's like, she won't tell him what happened.
Her
He's like, what's going
fingernails were
on?
incredibly clean for being lost in the fucking
Well, they had
woods
shown
for-
them earlier where they weren't, and it's like I think they were really trying to make you think she cleaned them that good in the creek or something. Because
I guess.
there was another shot before where she was looking at her hands and there was dirt all under her
maybe.
fingernails. So I don't know.
know.
But they're all very clean for having
Yes.
been in the woods.
Their teeth are clean.
Their
clothes
hair's
are
clean,
Like
not
her
even
hair,
greasy.
Yeah.
Her roots are like nice and fluffy.
She had like a dry shampoo out there.
Right? We didn't have dry shampoo in the 90s, did we?
No.
I know, after wearing a beanie, come on now.
Seriously, running around into the night.
And sweating in a tent with two farting dudes all night.
Right, because they do talk about
Yeah.
that farting in the tent. She's like, you won't let me smoke in here, but he can fart in here.
Well, that's a different thing. I mean, the smell is
the
worse
smell
to
is-
fart. But
I don't want to smell your farting either, but I mean, I also don't want you to smoke in here.
my
I don't want you
fart's
to
not going to give you
either.
cancer. You got fart cancer.
Oh, you know what? How do you know?
Secondhand fart
How
cancer.
do you know when you've been getting them Dutch ovens? Now you've got fart cancer.
If you got lung cancer but you don't smoke and you don't know why, is
It's
your
farts.
significant other Dutch oven you a lot?
That's what it is.
That's
You
what
may be
happened.
entitled to compensation.
Yeah. Do you have fart cancer? You
Does
may
your
be entitled
significant
to.
other give you Dutch ovens?
And so like Mike's over there eating a big ass leaf. Like he's just
Right,
out,
she's like, "Are you
he's
eating a
zoned
leaf
out.
right
He's like,
now?"
I don't know what's happening anymore.
Right.
So that night, this scene where she puts the camera on herself,
It's finally the
snotting,
booger
crying.
apology scene.
I apologize
To
Mike's mom
and Josh's mom and my mom. I'm scared.
I was naive
It's
and
my
I'm sorry.
fault. It was
Yeah.
my project.
I insisted on everything, and now we're hungry, cold, and
Die
hunted.
out here. Yes, hungry, cold.
And hunted. And this close up is very effective. The
Oh,
tears
yes.
and the snot.
Oh,
and this
yes.
was like
I was about to lose my shit at this point. Like, oh my God, what the fuck is it? Well, they just going to show me what the fuck it is. Cause I'm like,
and they hear
I'm
Josh yelling.
so stressed out right now.
Again, you hear Josh yelling, somebody
Yeah, follow my voice.
Oh, and so they head out together, and Mike's like, that can't be him. That can't.
Right,
come
like
on.
that-
This is.
How is this happening? Like, there's no
they
way.
come upon a house suddenly,
Which
in
has
this
a bunch
woods.
of fucking sticks, and it looks like a dead Kennedy symbol on the side, but it's not.
It's all piled up sticks in front of the door, but all the
Right.
windows are broken out.
He's like, we're going in. Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not.
Immediately into the house.
Whose house do you think that is?
That's got to be
Michael?
Murder House. Come on now.
It's clearly the only house that you've seen the whole time you've been out here. It is the murder house.
It's got to be. And if
Gots
you weren't
to
sure,
be.
the child handprints all over the
as
walls.
soon as you go in there should give you a clue. And that was a lot.
A lot of
Bop, bop,
handprints.
bop. Yeah.
Maybe that was the same kids multiple times.
He's like, first I'm going to need you to do a mural. And then
Right.
take you down there 2x2s. But the last one had to paint the mural while the rest of them went down there too. That's what the seventh one was
That's what the
for.
seventh one was for.
Now
stay,
I get it.
Stay behind and make the mural.
Now I get it.
So they get inside the house, but they don't find Josh, and now they don't hear him, and then they do.
Right. They
From
hear 'em, like,
upstairs.
where the fuck is that coming from? Like, I don't want to go upstairs, but yeah, they're going to go upstairs. So
And that's
now-
where all the handprints are upstairs on the walls.
Right. And you don't see like there's shit going on, and they're both recording. It's going back and forth between the camcorder.
Right. So there's the black and white one, which I don't think picks up sound, which is what the
No.
DAT is for.
Right.
And then the color camcorder, which
is-
he has, I think,
yeah,
that does pick
Mike
up sound.
has the handheld camera.
And so it gets a little confusing for a second because
Right.
you're like,
Because they go up the stairs. You go. Well, you see him, and he's got the thing. Because
Yes.
she's trying to find him. He goes in ahead of her, and she's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hold on!" So she's trying to follow up with him, and now they hear Josh in the basement.
so he goes hauling ass
And
downstairs,
she's like, "Wait for me."
and suddenly his camera falls to the ground.
Uh-oh. And now we switch to her
But
point
you
of view.
hear her audio on
Right.
his camera,
Exactly, and
but you
she's
see her
screaming. Mm-hmm.
camera, and so for a second I had to stop and go, wait a minute, did the Blair Witch pick up a camcorder?
No.
Because I was like, wait, how come
That
she
would've
sound
been
far
funny.
away, but she's holding the camera? Can you imagine the goddamn Blair Witch out there with like
Right.
the 9mm or
I
whatever they
would've
call that
stood
black and
right
white
up in
one,
the movie
16
theater
millimeter, 9
and
millimeter.
applauded.
Right? Damn Blair Witch over there.
Like, hey,
I'm making a
I'm
movie.
ghost on the wall, shaking my balls. Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
So yeah, so his camera drops, then she comes running in screaming, and you hear the audio still from Mike's camera.
Right.
And then she sees Mike
Oh, she pans around, and there he is standing in the corner,
facing the wall.
and then
Bam! Her camera,
camera
drops.
cut.
The end.
That's it.
I mean, kind of great,
Right?
but also
I
like,
know.
damn.
Damn.
We didn't even get to see nobody get hurt. We didn't get to see nobody get like.
We didn't
It's
get
not
to
like
see
it's
anybody
it's
get
truly
hurt.
one of those horror movies that it's what you don't see
Yeah,
that's the scary part.
yeah.
It's
That's
just
why I
the-
like not seeing
the not knowing.
That's why I like not seeing.
Yeah.
I like not seeing it.
I wouldn't have minded a quick glimpse, but I don't like when they do the full on
Yeah. They did that
detailed
in
reveal.
the
Unless you're
Blair
doing
Witch, it
really
was-
fucking good, scary
Well,
shit.
it was stupid. The
It was
one
dumb.
the Blair Witch one, because it is. It's just for a second, but it's like, come on.
well,
on.
and tell us about the sequels,
The
Tessa.
sequel, Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, is they go right back out there.
Nuh-uh.
But now it's like it's all about the people that keep going out there. Kurt Loder's in it. They do like
Kurt
little
Loder?
Yes, bitch. They do like a whole like little news segments because now it's a year later. It's 2000 when this comes
Okay.
out. So it's a year later. It's all like it's a buzz. It's all these little news clips or whatever. And now like people have flocked to Burkittsville
Because
Maryland
of this.
because of this. And now there's this guy that's a little nutty, and he leads a tour into the woods, and there's like a goth girl, a little Wiccan girl, and this couple that's got this weird dynamic, and the girlfriend may or may not be pregnant.
They want the Blair Witch to film them fucking.
They're doing like not a documentary.
She's still got that camera out
right?
there.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. It's funny you should mention
Oh?
that. Because things like that do happen.
Really?
In this movie. There's like a lot of weird like time shifts. Like
Oh.
time travel and time shifts. That's why I was saying like
Okay,
the
I'm gonna have to
woods
watch
are
this.
Whatever. Like it's it's good, but it's bad.
Okay.
You know what
so
I
bad
mean?
it's good.
So bad it's good, but I've seen that one way more times than I've seen the Blair Witch Project.
And then what about the third one?
The third one is the one that I was telling you where Heather's younger brother,
yeah.
much younger brother in 2016, sees a video on YouTube or some shit and thinks that his sister, Heather, might still be out there.
20 something years later
Sure,
or whatever,
so
20
she-
years later.
It could be her. So he gets a group of people. One of them, I believe, is making a documentary about it or something, or about the legend or whatever. And they go
back
out into
out
the
to the-
fucking woods with another. They kind of blend the first and the second one,
Okay.
where it's like kind of found footage, also with a tour guide, also with the time travel and the time shifts and like all kinds of stuff. That one's not as good. That's the one where you see the glimpse of the Blair Witch. And also apparently Heather. Oh, that's her. It could be her. Why
Just
would that
some
be her?
white woman in the woods.
He was like, I was 4 when she went missing.
Was she the Blair Witch now, baby?
Right? Like, even if it is her, she's probably the Blair Witch now. You shouldn't go out there.
Well, because the way the first one ended, she probably got hit on the head, so it's amnesia.
Yeah, she
Right,
got hit on
she
the head.
forgot
She
that
doesn't
she
know who
didn't-
she is.
She forgot that she didn't always live out there in a decrepit witch house.
I wish they would have
Clearly.
found Josh's body or something though in there, or
I
something
know,
like
or
just
like
a glimpse
something
of the back
more-
of a
Feet or something.
yeah, just
Right,
something
like
to
a-
show he was
right.
even
Or maybe him in the corner, too.
him in the
Oh.
like yeah. You see the one like and
Like
you pan
one
over
and
and
then
he's
the
there with
other?
like a head injury, like a wad of hair pulled out.
Oh, that
like,
would have been
leaned
cool.
against the corner.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, just
coulda
poor
gotten into
Josh.
that.
He didn't
I know.
even get it. All we saw is he got a tooth pulled and some hair pulled.
Right?
And so
Yeah,
was
we
that
know
really
he
him
can't
yelling or
speak,
the
so-
Blair Witch?
Probably not.
Blair
It
Witch's
was
great at
probably
impressions.
Blair
She'd
Witch
be
is
out there
great at-
doing.
right, throwing her voice.
She's doing Ford Fairlane and shit when nobody's around.
Hey!
She's doing her Jersey accent out there.
Making stick dolls and like smoking a cigarette.
Bring your dogs out here.
Bring your dogs. I want to
what
see
happens.
your dogs. See what happens. I'll take them in the basement. Make them face the corner.
What would you do if you were just a lonely Blair Witch in the woods? You'd.
I don't know. I'd
you could
probably
make your voice sound like
terrorize
anything?
film students.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
If you're foolish enough to be out in my haunted ass woods,
That's what you
you
get.
get what you get. You get
what
what
you
you get.
And this movie doomed us to want to be the Blair Witch.
Right? I want to live in the
Leave me the
woods.
fuck alone.
Leave me the fuck alone. Don't come out
Or I
here.
will
I'll rip
haunt your
teeth
ass.
out.
Pull out a wad of hair. Take a
I'll
tooth.
pull out a what? Take a tooth.
You don't know. You
You
don't know me.
You don't know what I do. I'll do
There's
worse
a reason
than that.
I'm hidden out here.
There's a reason. I make trees grow, make trees go away.
And she stopped shaving. The fact that she's,
Oh yeah, she was hairy.
I'm
as
telling
fuck.
you,
Just letting it go.
we all are destined to become.
I know.
The
Be
Blair
so
Witch.
hairy. I'm gonna just grow it down from my
That's
chin.
all we want.
Hairs on my chinny chin.
I'll let that one grow.
That
That
happened. She just went through
I know.
menopause
she
and
just
went
yeah,
through
she's
it.
That's
just a
all she-
menopausal grandma
Right?
out there.
She was just postmenopausal. That's what all those stories are about. Just postmenopausal women.
Mm-hmm.
And then they burn them.
So, we are what 1 week away from Halloween at this point, or a
We
little
are
more.
A week away from Halloween. I think we've got one more before Halloween, because Halloween is the Thursday or Friday before the first November episode. So we won't have. We have my birthday episode. That's
But we
next.
don't have a Halloween episode this year, huh?
It's just my birthday episode.
We're gonna not do something spooky this year, or is it spooky? I don't know.
It's kind of spooky.
Kind of spooky.
Yeah, it's kind of spooky.
So we will get
Metal
into
teeth are
that.
spooky.
Ooh, metal
Ooh.
teeth. What the fuck? We're watching one, or I'm watching one I've never seen before. That's one
Right.
of Tessa's favorites.
It's
for
for
her
my birthday.
So you guys, if you aren't already following us, you should
should.
follow us.
You should.
On Spotify or Apple or whatever you listen on. You should subscribe. You should give us a 5-star review. Because we've been stuck at like 98 reviews for like
Oh,
a year. I'm like, get us to 100.
Right? Give us a review, and if you were there, tell us what your experience with.
Yeah,
seeing
there's
the
a way
Blair
on
Witch.
Spotify at least you can comment on these episodes. So if
Mm-hmm.
you've got a memory of Blair Witch,
Right.
let us know in the
And
comments.
tell us how much more you like the sequel, because it's good.
Or call and leave us a message
Yes.
at 702-720-DOOM.
You could leave it there.
Or send a text message to
Yep.
the same number.
An email, a text message, drop us a line, send us a carrier pigeon.
Go to our website, doomgenerationpod.com, I think.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds right. It's only been 3
doomgenerationpodcast.com?
years.
One of those two.
Yeah,
I
you'll
said I
find
was
it.
going to make a
If you
big
go
deal
to
out of the
the-
website, and I
Nope.
haven't. Nope.
Nope.
Haven't been doing that.
No.
Keep forgetting.
You know how it is.
You know where to get at us.
You know how to do it.
And until next week.
We'll talk at you next time.
Later, Doomers.